The word psycho kind of gets thrown around a lot in our culture. People who aren't psychopathic get labelled as such just because they have a bad temper or they are quick to anger. As far as I can tell, almost all of the people I know or interact with don't even have a basic understanding of what the word psychopath means. In psychiatry, it means something specific. Psychopaths can be identified by a lack of empathy. They can also be compulsive manipulators. They can be bullies. They can be deceitful. Psychopaths are often sensation seekers, impulsive and aggressively narcissistic. In the media, mainstream, and in literature and in films I've seen over the years, the term psychopath is not used as a diagnosis. It's a term that's supposed to scare us. Psychopaths aren't people we should feel sorry for. They're barely people at all, right? Practically animals. We need to fear them, not try to understand them. That's sort of the message I'm receiving from certain elements in the media, shall we say. Dr. Kent Keel, a neuroscientist, is on the record as saying, "I tend to see psychopaths as suffering from a disorder, so I wouldn't use the word evil to describe them." End quote. You know, when I'm in a peaceful, rational frame of mind, which is not all the time, of course, I wouldn't use the word evil to describe anyone. What good does it do to label a human being or a group of people as evil? What good does it do? What does it explain? I can remember a BBC headline from last year which read, "Psychopaths born evil or with a diseased brain." Just a stupid, sensationalist, eye-catching headline there. I expect better from the BBC, really. Anyway, is it not the case that quite a few people can exhibit a fair few of the symptoms of psychopathy, but by no means all of the symptoms? Are such people to be labelled as half psychopaths or partial psychos? I don't know. You know, I've seen a lot of violent and disturbing behaviour in my life, first-hand. But I'm not a medical expert, nor am I a neuroscientist. I wouldn't presume to point to someone and say with any degree of certainty that that person is a psychopath, or that person has a profound psychological disorder. I've seen some things before, you know. I believe I may have encountered a couple of genuine psychopaths in my time, but I can't be sure. I can't be sure because I don't understand the human brain on a sophisticated level, so to speak. And I don't fully understand what motivates human behavior, you know? Some people say that psychopaths tend to do well in politics or business because they totally lack empathy and thus only have loyalty to themselves, which makes them completely self-serving. Most people do have empathy, though. Most people do care about others. I've heard that true psychopaths only make up a tiny percentage of the population. Well, I suppose that's reassuring, in a way. Trying to see things from the perspective of a psychopath. I suppose if you yourself are surrounded by people who do care for each other, people who don't bully others, people who are not deceitful, people you perhaps find difficult to relate to, well, I'm sure psychopaths do find people who can empathise with others almost impossible to relate to, in fact. I suppose if you're a psychopath, you have to become a good character actor to avoid detection. You have to be quite observant, I would have thought. You have to achieve a veneer of normality, too seamless to detect. Yeah. Now, not all psychopaths are in prison. Not all of them are murderers or rapists or criminals of any kind. Psychopaths are just people, of course, but to say that they are just like the rest of us would be a false thing to say. Many killers, serial killers, many rapists or other kinds of sexual offenders have been diagnosed as psychopathic. Should we perhaps play it safe and simply detain all people who have been diagnosed as being psychopathic, even if they haven't committed a crime? It has been suggested. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Some folks say no one is beyond reach, so to speak. Everyone can be made to see what they have done is wrong. I'm talking about convicted criminals here. But if you have no feeling for others, no empathy, I should say, how can you truly know right from wrong? Can psychopaths be viewed as being morally insane? If so, then how can we justify putting them on trial or keeping them in prison? These are not rhetorical questions. Feel free to answer them. Until next time, folks, all the best.